Whenever I hear workshop sounds, it often reminds me of visiting my Grandad in his workshop. I was always welcomed with a warm hello, and the smell of wood and varnish there is something that I'll always remember. The rows of tools, from saws and chisels to smoothing planes and hammers. Some of the planes were wooden, which must have been older than Grandad. The wood was stacked very neatly on one side of his bench and tools on the other. There were some wooden chairs in part repair to shelving units and cupboards. Once I asked him if he could make me a small box to keep my toy soldiers in. He immediately said, "Yes, how big would you like the box to be?" as he was rummaging around through a pile of wood. I said about 12 inches by 6 inches, I think, and showed him on the ruler. "Ah, that will be fine," he said. "You can help me make it if you like." He showed me how to measure the wood for the base of the box with his fold-up ruler. That worn-down ruler he had must have been a lot older than me. When the wood was marked out, it had to be cut to size. He put it in the clamp and gave me his big saw. I tried my best to use it, but the saw was too heavy for me. I was only a young boy back then. So Grandad took the saw back from me and started cutting away. "Well, that's the bottom part of the box done. Now, how tall do you want the box to be?" he said. "Well, I would say about that much," indicating with my hands. "Oh, about 6 inches, he said. He rummaged about again through different parts of his workshop. "This will do," he said. As the part he found was almost the right size, it didn't need cutting. I just had to plane it down a little. After about 10 minutes of that, a lot of shavings had fallen, adding to what was already there on the floor. Grandad was never very good at clearing up. "Well," he said, "that's good enough. Now we need 3 more sides." After a little more searching, he put 3 pieces of wood on the workbench. "We'll have to cut them to the right length," he said. "I will do 2 of them, and you can do the last side." Grandad was sawing away for a while, so I investigated the shelves and cupboards, with lots of drawers of all sizes, full of screws of all lengths, shapes and ages. Old hinges and oddments of all sorts were there too. Some of those things looked really old. They must have been sat there for years and years. "That's it," he said. "Now it's your turn." I took the last piece, which Grandad had marked out, and fitted into the vise. Having sawed it into shape with a smaller saw which I had found earlier, I also had to plane it down a little. "There we go," he said. "Now we just need a top for the box." Looking around, I couldn't see anything big enough for the top. "We'll have to glue 2 pieces together," said Grandad. That was beyond me to do, so I left it to him to do his magic. When he was finished, all of the pieces had to be fixed together. Luckily for me, Grandad took over. He made it look so simple to do. "I fitted some hinges on the top of the box with a handle and a catch," he said. "Now all we need to do is varnish it." There were many rows of tins stacked up high on his shelves. I had no idea what they all were. He produced a tin from the shelf and said, "This will look good on your new toy box, and it will help to protect it too." He reached over behind him and found a medium-sized brush in his toolbox. "Just brush it on," he said, "not too much at once, and it will look just fine." I was feeling a bit nervous, as I didn't want to spoil it after all the work that Grandad had done, so I huffed and puffed a little and started nervously, but to my relief, when it had dried, it looked great. "There you are, your very own unique toy soldier box," he said. I thanked him, but he could already see how pleased I was, as my face lit up when I saw how good it looked when it was finished. Well, I still have that box today, and I will never forget making it with Grandad all those years ago. I'll always be grateful to him for spending time with me and helping me make my toy soldier box. It was always enjoyable spending time with Grandad.